The Renaissance is one of the most important cultural developments in the history of Europe that, among other important effects, planted the seeds of Latin influence into English. It began in Italy during the 14th century, drawing on the classical cultures of Rome and Greece. One key factor in the spreading of Renaissance ideas was the recent innovation of the printing press. It allowed for new thoughts to be spread quickly and accurately, and made it more difficult for the church to suppress ideas they did not approve of. The Renaissance spawned four major ideas that are still central to Western thought today: secularism, humanism, individualism, and skepticism. Secularism was essentially the movement from believing that the main point of living was to provide and prepare for the next life to focusing on this current life. Humanism is the belief that humans, not God, are the center of the universe. Individualism is an extension of humanism. It states that individual humans are capable of great achievement. During this time, artists began to sign their own works, showing individual pride, and the guild system must be replaced by capitalism, which encouraged private enterprise, all as a result of individualism. Finally, skepticism promotes curiosity and the questioning of authority. Later, after the Italian Renaissance was thoroughly underway, Northern Europe began its own Renaissance around 1450. The Northern Renaissance was delayed due to two key factors. First, Northern Europe was further removed from centers of trade and culture in the Mediterranean, and the political and scientific institutions were more backwards due to the stronger presence of the church and feudalism. Besides beginning later, the Northern Renaissance was also more religious due to a heightened influence of the church and more nationalistic as a result of the rising monarchies. From the Renaissance came the Humanist movement, which lasted from the mid-1300s to the 1500s. Humanists studied subjects now known as the humanities, such as ethics, history, and poetry. In the 1300s, humanists began finding Latin manuscripts, and when the popularity of the printing press grew in the 15th century, these were distributed to a greater number of people. Latin texts had been known, but humanists made them a large part of the ideal curriculum. Greek also enjoyed a rebirth. Manuel Chrysoloras brought classical Greek texts to Italy in 1397 and caused a revolution. Greek was translated into Latin, and Italian humanists gained an understanding of the gaps between their world and the Romans they sought to be like.